And here we go on our Friday Orange and Brown Talk podcast. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, we have been doing a 21 questions series beginning this week, 21 questions about the 2021 Browns. So we're going to get a little bit caught up on that. We each have written one post in that. When you're listening to this, there'll be a fourth post that went up on Friday morning. So, but let's get to it. Mary Kay, let's start with you. What was your question?
My question was, can Baker Mayfield put together one full good season? He had a half of a good season in 2018. He had kind of a all down season in 2019 for the most part. And he had another really good half of the season in 2020. So is this the year in 2021 that Baker Mayfield can put together that one full good season? And what I did in my post was I broke it down into 6 different categories. I actually could have done more. I could have kept going, but I just kind of tried to contain it to those 6 things. But I won't lay all those out here at the outset, but I will mention a couple of them. And the conclusion that I pretty much drew was that I do think he can have a full good season this year. And one of the main reasons why I think that is because it is for the first time in his career, he is in the same system and he can build on what he did last year. He can hit the ground running right from the start. When he goes to Kansas City, where he left off in the playoffs last year, he can hit the ground running and he completely knows the system. He knows his personnel. Last year when he played the opener, he had never played with Jedrick Wills Jr., his left tackle. He had never played with Jack Conklin. He had never played with Austin Hooper. So this year, he knows his guys, and the coaching staff knows Baker. They know what to do with him. They know that it's better to get him out of the pocket and to get him going on the keepers, the bootlegs, the rollouts, and things like that. They know that he functions better in play action than out of play action. Scott, you probably have some numbers that can back that up. So I would say that that's the number one reason why I think that he can pull together one full good season for the first time.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that week one going into that, because it's been like a running joke on Gotta Watch the Tape about how we don't talk about that game anymore, because it was just such a weird thing in that nothing that happened after that was like that. You know, we expected all these things in Kevin Stefanski's offense, and they just didn't happen in that game. There wasn't much play action. There was a lot of empty backfield, just weird things going on that didn't track with what we expected. And you're right. I think everybody expects it to be totally different. Now it's the Chiefs in week one. It could go horribly. We don't know. That's a tough matchup, no matter how experienced you are. But the idea that he's going into his first off season really here, going into his first year of actually having back-to-back offenses, the same deal. It's kind of crazy to think that he's going into that just his 4th year. So, but even beyond that, just everybody around him is back. And I do think, out of the 6 things that you listed for reasons, obviously the continuity is a big one, but Odell coming back, I think is really big too. And there was the crazy storyline about how, everything went right because Odell left, and I don't subscribe to that at all. I think having him back there, you're going to see a different dimension of this offense, and that they didn't have once everything started clicking. So you're right. I think he can kind of hit the ground running for the first time in his career. Everything's kind of set up for it to do that. And even if things don't go perfect against the Chiefs, I still think the Browns are in a much better place, and he's in a much better place than at any other point in his career.
This was the last point that I made. I think a much better defense is going to make a huge difference for Baker Mayfield.
Do we all believe Baker's going to have a full season? It's Mary Kay. It sounds like you believe it's going to happen. I'm pretty confident that we're going to see a high level of play from Baker for 16 games. I don't know what that looks like, but I think we'll see top 10 level quarterback play from Baker Mayfield. Good enough play from Baker Mayfield for sure to get where the Browns want to go in 2021. Scott, what about you?
I think that there are no built-in excuses as of right now. That's for sure. Everything's kind of set up for him to succeed and kind of pick up where he left off, and we'll see how it goes. I think if he does come out and struggle, that's going to be somewhere you're really sifting through, trying to figure out why it happened. Because if it's not injuries, if it's not the running game, if he's just not playing the way he did at the end of last season, then you have serious questions to ask yourself about Baker Mayfield.
Now, Warren Sharp tweeted this on Wednesday. The most expensive offenses in 2021. Cleveland is at the top of the list by far. I mean, they're $15 million ahead of Dallas, and they are $23 million ahead of Tampa Bay. Those
because the receivers and the offensive line. That's basically what's boosting that up.
That doesn't even include the big quarterback contract, right? I mean, most teams that are behind them on that list have paid a quarterback big money, probably.